Good evening and welcome to this session of Tuesday's Encounters in New York. This program is presented every Tuesday at 7 p.m. New York time. My name is Mark Beecher and I'll be your host today. Our guest tonight is Andres Ruiz. Andres is a motivational speaker, life coach, and radio show host on 10:30 a.m. The Voice in Arizona. He is the author of numerous books, Morning Warrior Secrets and the Blueprint on How to Turn Goals into Achievements. Both books were #1 on Amazon. Andres has also been featured on CBS, NBC, and Fox networks. Andres' mission is to help leaders and students develop the skills necessary to thrive in a diverse workforce. Tonight, Andres will discuss the blueprint on how to turn goals into achievements. So, hello, Andres, and if you can just open your microphone.
Hello. Hi, Mark. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for being here. So, would you like to start the discussion? You're going to discuss the book, or you're just going to generally discuss some of your ideas?
Yeah, I mean, whichever works, whether it's like we dive into the presentation or we just have a discussion, either one works for me.
Yeah, I think we can go to the presentation.
Okay, sounds good. Excellent. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen so that way the audience can see the screen and some of the information that I'm going to be sharing with them. So let me go ahead and share that right now. Let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. Can everybody see the screen?
Yeah, now we can.
Excellent. All right. So today I want to talk about some things that have helped me out in my personal life, in my career, for me to be able to attain my goals. And I'm going to be giving you some very simple yet very powerful strategies that, like I said, have helped me tremendously and have also helped out my clients who I work with on a weekly basis. So what I like to do right now is I just kind of want to share a little bit about myself before I was doing all this type of work. I used to work at jobs that were not really fulfilling. I remember at one point working at a call center for over a decade, and I was really unhappy with my job. Pretty much some of the worst jobs that I've ever had. And this is I'm going to show you a picture of kind of how I felt, smiling on the outside, really dead on the inside, was not really happy and fulfilled with myself. When I showed my son the presentation, he said, "You're actually going to show people this? It's kind of creepy," but I kind of wanted to share how I really felt in my life. And so this was a big struggle for me. And another big struggle for me was my limiting belief that I had when I was growing up. And my limiting belief was that I only have a high school diploma. And because I have not amounted to anything in my life, like my cousins, my friends who are lawyers, doctors, engineers, surgeons, and now I'm over here feeling like I'm not worthy, like I'm not good enough because I only have a high school diploma. And so this led me down a path of a deep depression. I dealt with a lot of anxiety on a day-to-day basis. I was constantly trying to avoid going to like family gatherings because I didn't want to hear the question of, "Hey, how's it going?" And the answer was not very good. But because of this struggle, because of my depression, because of my anxiety, what that led me down was a path of drinking alcohol to cope with that depression, taking pills while I was drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, doing hard drugs like cocaine. At one point, almost ODing on cocaine. I was also a womanizer, always trying to find love in all these women that didn't even love themselves. I didn't love myself. So when you do put two people that don't love themselves, you just create a chaos. So I was constantly in chaotic relationships, really unhappy with my relationships. Another thing that I would do to cope with my depression and my anxiety was I would eat a lot of unhealthy foods to make me feel better. And now I was weighing 265 pounds and was even more depressed because of my physique. I already got some big cheeks, but back then I had some huge cheeks. People would call me meatball cheeks. I know it's kind of rude, but it was it was me right there. As you can see, I was pretty much dead inside. I was not happy with myself. And at times I would ask myself, there has got to be more to this life than what I'm doing right now. Like this cannot be it. And I don't know if anybody out there who's listening has ever felt this way, where you're thinking, I know that I can do more. I know that I was meant for more. This cannot be it. And if that's you, you are absolutely right. You are meant for more. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, it's not something you have to settle for. And I've had people who were have told me, I'm probably too young for this. I probably can't do this because I don't feel like I'm qualified because of my age, when in reality, they were more than qualified, but because they believed that they were not qualified, they were absolutely right because you are what you believe. And I've also had people who were in their 60s that were saying, I think I'm too old. And then they reinvented themselves and started coaching people and started making money through coaching. So these people that I'm talking about, maybe you're one of those people that's saying to yourself, maybe I'm too young, maybe I'm too old, maybe I'm not good enough. But I'm here to tell you that you are good enough and that if there is a deep desire in your heart, that you should follow it. And so for me, what really changed my life was when I was listening to this amazing motivational speaker by the name of Les Brown. And he was just immediately caught my attention. And I remember one particular thing that he said that really just hit the heart. He said, many people will leave the universe without a trace, and under their name, you can put not used up. And when I heard this, that really struck a chord in my heart. I said, he's talking about me. I know in my heart that I can do more, but for some reason, I don't have the motivation to do it. And it was constantly a battle in my mind. So when I listened to this audio, I kept listening to more audios. Like I just couldn't get enough of this personal development. And I would listen to it when I was taking a shower, when I was driving to the job that I hated. But for some reason, it gave me it raised my spirits in regards to saying, okay, I'm working at this job that I don't like, but I don't know, something with these motivational audios is telling me that I can do something else. And so through listening to these audios, a few things that really changed my life was in regards to goals. And I had never heard about setting goals. I never had any relatives who would set goals, that would talk about goals, that would talk about, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? Or what do you want to do with your life? And that's when I discovered this whole thing with goals. And I want to share a very interesting study that I saw from Harvard that says 87% of people have no goals, 10% of people have goals in their mind, and then 3% of people have written goals. Now, when this study was done, they noticed that the people who had the written goals were far more successful than the 87% and also the 10%. And the 10%, they were 3 times more successful than the 87%, and the 3% were 10 times more successful than the 10%. So when I saw this, I said, okay, that's interesting. There's got to be something here that that 3% is doing the written goals that is helping them, that is actually helping them be successful. And I want to share this quote with you that Tony Robbins wrote that says, success leaves clues. People who succeed at the highest level are not lucky. They're doing something differently than everyone else does. And I thought, okay, yeah, there's a clue here that these people that set goals, they are far more successful than the people who have goals in their mind and the people that don't have any goals. So I started to think to myself, okay, let me write out these goals. I don't know what's going to happen, but hey, what could happen? What's the worst that could happen? Like I'm already working a job that I hate, so let's give it a go. So then I discovered this concept by the great Bob Proctor, who already passed away, and he talks about the goal card. And so I want to share with you what the goal card looks like. And this is something that completely changed my life. And I want to share this with you. If you take anything from this presentation, this one right here, if you do this, this will change your life. So I started to write out the goal like this. And I'll give you the example of one of the goals that I had that I wanted to attain. And it was by December 8th, 2024. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am doing stand up comedy. In return for this goal, I will practice stand up comedy every day for 30 minutes. I will also go to every open mic that is available in town. I commit to my goal, signed Andres Ruiz. So when I wrote this, when I started to write down my goals, I wrote them in the way that it was already done. You see, there's a lot of power when you're in this present moment, but at the same time, living the future that you desire. Because when you're living the future that you desire, who you want to be, what you want to be, there's an energetic flow in your body that is signaling that you're already that person in the future, which gets you excited. And then you start taking the actions that your future self would be taking in the present moment. And in order for us to create the future, we must take those actions in the present moment that our future self would be brave and courageous to do. So when I started to write out these goals, I would read them in the morning when I would wake up, throughout the day, and then at night before I would go to bed. I'll be very honest, at first I thought I was losing my mind, but I said to myself, I'm already losing my mind at my job that I hate, so why not lose my mind while doing these things that maybe it may seem crazy, but there's people that are being successful doing it. So then I started doing this and I started reading it, and then eventually I started doing stand-up comedy. I'll be very honest, I was not a very good comedian when I first got started. I even recall this one particular time that this old lady, sweet old lady, was in the front and she was eating, and then she looked up and she went, and I said, "Oh my God, I'd rather you boo me than do that to me." So that just shows how bad of a comedian I was. So then I had a friend of mine who, Dom, he would go to the stand-up comedy as well. And he sometimes would have some talks with me and he'd be very honest with me. He was this guy from California and he would go up to me and he'd say, Dreas, bro, yeah, dude, you're like so terrible out there. It's like you need some help. And I said, yeah, no, Dom, I don't know. And he'd be like, bro, just get some public speaking or something. Like, you're awful out there. And I'm like, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate your honest feedback. But so then I decided to say, okay, man, this surfer guy is telling me that I suck. And he did pretty good. So I said, okay, so maybe he does have a good point. So then I decided to join public speaking. And then when I started doing public speaking, I fell in love with the craft. And I then just started speaking at middle schools, high schools for free. And I just completely fell in love with it. And I want to share this with you that when you follow your goals, the goals that you think that you were meant for, the really cool thing about it is that through those endeavors, you will find other niches that will pique your interest as well. Like for me, public speaking was something that that caught my attention. I said, okay, I thought I wanted to be a comedian, but now I'm kind of thinking like, man, this public speaking stuff is actually pretty cool. And to be honest with you, when I was doing stand-up comedy, it was quite depressing sometimes. You know, some of the people that you were around, it was not the most funnest thing, most funnest environment. And at times I'd be like, man, I'm kind of actually more negative sometimes when I'm around these people. So maybe I should stick to the public speaking.
Yeah.
So I started doing public speaking. And like I said, I was speaking for free. Eventually, there was a lady that I was talking to her and I mentioned her, yeah, I'm a motivational speaker and I do all this stuff. And she said, okay, great. Like, well, how much do you charge? And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, she wants to pay me? Wow. And then I just gave her a number. And she said, oh my God, that's very low. And I said, man, I should have told her more, but hey, I'm happy she's going to pay me. This is awesome. Never would have thought I could ever get paid. Man with the high school diploma, my limiting belief was kind of like ripped apart. Just, okay, I can do some great things even though I only have a high school diploma. So I told myself, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. I'm going to be a paid motivational speaker. And that's a goal that I wrote down as well. And then after that, I had a dream of doing a TED talk. So I wrote down I will be a TED speaker. And then I was fortunate enough to give a TED talk back in 2018 talking about mental health. And this was the story of myself struggling with mental health when I was in high school. I went through a really tough breakup, went through a really bad depression. At, at one moment, tried to take my life, like was thinking about suicide, and was a lot of struggles that I had back then. And I share my story, and I recall this one particular time when I was sharing my story, that I was going to share my story with about 500 kids. And this was like when I was barely getting started in speaking. And I remember driving to the presentation and I was sweating. Just the thought of going and speaking to 500 kids who are very critical, because I know when I was in high school, I was very critical. And I was already thinking, what are they going to say about me? What are they going to think about me? And in that moment, I called up my life coach and I said, hey, man, I'm having some trouble here. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go give this presentation. I'm really scared. And then he said, look, man, stop being so selfish and thinking about your fears and start thinking about the people you're going to serve. And I said, okay, end of call. I hung up. I said, that's all I need. That was very deep. And then I went and gave the presentation. And I remember after giving my presentation, we were walking back to my car. And then this young lady, she came up to me and she said, hey, mister, like, can I talk to you? And I said, yeah, absolutely. What's going on? And she said, hey, wow, like, thank you so much for your presentation. I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only one who was dealing with this. And then she said, you see, my family's in Michigan. I've been to 8 psychiatric homes. I've been to 5 different foster homes. And tomorrow I was going to kill myself. And when she told me that, I said, oh my God, like, this young lady, she was thinking about taking her life tomorrow. And she said, but I want to get help. I see now that I'm not alone. And then I took her to the counselor. And that day, just by me speaking about my struggles, it saved a life. And there's a great quote by Mark Twain that says, the 2 most important days in your life is the day you were born and the day you found out why. And that day I found out why I was put on this earth is to save lives. And just these past few years, I've had over 20 kids come up to me telling me, hey, I'm actually thinking about taking my life. And at one point, I spoke in front of 300 kids, and 4 of them just put their hands up in front of everybody, just saying, hey, I'm thinking about it too. So I really believe that thanks to my coach, thanks to my courage to just do the thing that I feared, it helped me to save this young girl's life. And when you do the thing you fear the most, the death of fear is certain. It's like everything. Once you do it more and more, eventually the fear is gone. So I encourage you to think about what you're fearing right now and what are you going to do to make sure that you overcome that fear. And I would say taking the action, because through the action is where you will see that this fear that you're thinking about, it's not even real. It's just an illusion in your mind. So don't allow the fear to stop your greatness. Now, in regards to after public speaking, I started to think to myself, you know what? I would also like to start doing coaching, because people would tell me, hey, Andres, how did you do it? How did you become like a motivational speaker? You've always been this shy dude. Uh, how did you do this? And I said, hey, well, I don't know. I just took action. I just did it. And then that's when I decided to become a life coach. So then I started doing life coaching. I started to coach people. And now I've been fortunate enough to coach entrepreneurs, business owners, and those are the type of people that right now I'm coaching. I've had I've been so blessed to be able to coach so many amazing people, and that's something that I wrote down as a goal. And then I also wrote down as a goal that I wanted to do my own radio show, and I've been doing radio since 2020, and just recently I launched my newest radio show called Hispanic Alliances Radio, and that was another goal. I just wrote it down, And then after that, I also wanted to do books. So I've written so far 10 books. 6 of them have been #1 on Amazon. As you can see right here, I've also written children's books. I'm also in the process of writing some more books. My goal is to write over 40 books in my lifetime. And at this pace, I think I'm going to make it. So, and actually, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I have to believe in myself. Like the sign says right here, when you believe in yourself, you can do it. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to do it. And you're with yourself at all times. So tell yourself that you can do it. That's another thing that I want to share with you is like, you got to be good to yourself. You have to actually tell yourself positive things. And I think it's important. Those positive affirmations will take you very far. So I have a question for all of you that I want you to ponder on and think about. If we were having, let's say we were having this discussion 1 year from today, and you were looking back over the year, what has to have happened in your life, both personally and professionally, for you to feel happy with your progress? I want you to really think about that. In the next year, what are you going to create? So that's the first question that I want you to really take in and ask yourself this question. And maybe just write down the question, and then later on you can write down your what you want. And this one is very important as well, because what I see that a lot of people that I coach or people that I speak to have is lack of clarity. Now, when you have lack of clarity, you're like that boat without a map and you'll end up anywhere. So, are you that boat without a map? Are you just ending up anywhere? Are you constantly dabbling and trying to do all these things and then you give up? And then you say, maybe next year, or maybe next thing, or oh, you see another shiny object and you go for that. Or you go to all these conferences, but you don't do anything with it. You go to a retreat, you go to a workshop, but then you don't do anything. That's what happens to a lot of people. They go to all these workshops, they go to all these retreats, and really what they're doing is they're procrastinating. They're thinking that they're doing the work, but the thing is they're going to so many workshops and taking so many courses that they're not even doing the actual work to move forward. So are you that type of person that's always going to retreats, that's always taking the courses, that's always supposedly going to these workshops like this type of presentation, and then you don't do anything with it? Be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, you're going to stay in the same spot that you were this year. So is this year going to be the same? Is next year going to be the same as this year? Are you going to continue to repeat that vicious cycle? Okay. So once you have the answer to this, I encourage you to write out your goal card. Now, if you're interested in getting a goal card from me, send me an email. I believe Ernie and Mark are going to be giving you my information. Send me an email. I'd be more than happy to send you the goal card, that just like this, and you just write out your own goals. Okay. Now that we have the goal, the next question I have for you is why? Why is this goal so important to you? Why do you want to make $100,000 this year? Why do you want to write that book? Why do you want to start that business? You see, when you have a why, that why will help you continue to move forward whenever you're wanting to give up on yourself. So ask yourself why, because you want to take your family on more vacations. Maybe you want to finally run your own calendar. Maybe you work for somebody right now, because I've worked there. I've worked for somebody and I didn't like it. That's why I went full time as a coach and a speaker, because I wanted to run my own calendar, have my own business, be able to like just hang out with my family whenever I would want to, not when I have to ask, hey boss, can I get the day off? I didn't want that. I wanted to run my own calendar. So what is your why? Why do you want this goal? The why is extremely important. And like I said, you can write it right now or later, but I encourage you to take an hour to write this out, because this will determine the rest of your year. How good do you want your year to be? Or do you just want it where you're just a boat going anywhere, going to this workshop, going to this retreat, going to this coffee, or going to go do these things that are just a distraction from you doing the work? Do the work. All right. And then the next thing that I want to talk to you about is just your fears, your limiting beliefs, because the thing that is stopping you is your limiting beliefs and your fears, your thoughts. You have to be very mindful of your thoughts. Now, We think 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. That's 3,000 thoughts an hour. Um, that's a lot of thoughts. I remember one time I was having a session with one of my clients, and she said, "For men, believe for women, I believe it, but for men, I don't think so." And I said, "Oh man, that's mean." And then 2 weeks later, I was having a session with one of my clients. He's a man, and I asked him, "Hey man, so when you're alone, what are you thinking about?" And then he said, "Nothing." I said, "All right, I guess she had a point, but." Really think about this 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. This will determine the outcome of your life and what is limiting you. And your mind is very powerful. Your mind is like a land. In the land, if you plant a seed of apples, it will give you apples, which is good for you. But if you plant a seed of nightshade, which is venom, it will give you venom. The land doesn't care what you plant in it, it will return venom just like it will apples. And that's how your mind works. You plant a seed of positivity, you'll believe in yourself. You plant a seed of negativity, you'll doubt yourself. So, what seeds are you planting in your mind? Because you see, whatever you think about is what you become. Another question I want to ask you is what seeds are other people planting in your mind? Because not only do you become what you think about, but sometimes you become what other people tell you. Maybe one day somebody told you that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that you can't make it. And then you accepted that. Once you accepted that, that became your reality. Don't allow someone's opinion of you become your reality. The only true opinion of you that matters is your own. So tell yourself that you can do it. Tell yourself that you believe in yourself. And if you can't do this by yourself, get a coach. Get somebody that will hold you accountable. That's why I have my coach. That's why my clients have me as a coach to hold them accountable because they can't keep their word to themselves. And when you can't keep your word to yourself, what that does is that lowers your self-esteem, lowers your confidence, and then you don't do the work because you don't believe in yourself. So if you don't believe in yourself, find a coach. Find somebody that will hold you accountable and that will push you to take your life to the next level. And make sure that you find somebody that believes in themselves. Because when I found my coach, I had to find her. She had to believe in herself. And now I'm like, hey, she's kind of transferring that belief in me. So get a coach. And I also want you to be very mindful of your words because I want to share with you the power of your words. Your words, they turn into a thought. That thought creates the way you feel. That feeling creates the action you take. And that action creates the result that you get. If you get a negative result, here comes another negative thought, feeling, action, result. It's a vicious cycle of negative thinking. So I have a question for you right now is what is the word? What is the phrase? What are the thoughts that you think about yourself that continue to limit you? So I really want you to think about a phrase. Maybe it's like, I'm not good enough. Maybe it's, I can't do it. Maybe I'm not competent enough. I'm not confident enough. And then you have to change that because once you change your story, you change your life. For you to change your story and change your life, you have to make sure that you're changing that inner dialogue because that inner dialogue is what's taking you down that self doubt. So really ask yourself, what are the phrases that I use on a daily basis, on a weekly basis that continue to have me doubting myself? And what are you going to do to change that story? Because once you divorce the story that continues to limit you and marry the truth that of your greatness, that you're amazing, everything's going to change for you. But you got to change that story. If not, you're going to continue to be in this same cycle of self-doubt. Okay? Now, with that being said, the final thing that I want to ask you is what is that one action that you're going to take this week? It's barely Tuesday, so we have plenty of time. I know maybe you want the weekends, great, but you still have 3 days to take action. And remember that even a tiny step is one step closer to where you are going. Because if you're looking, what happens a lot is people are constantly looking at that big mountain of the 1,000 steps that they need to take. And then they get overwhelmed in their head because they're thinking about all the things that they need to do to get started. Like I remember this one particular client wanted to start a trucking business. And then he said, oh man, but if I start this trucking business, what if then I hire somebody, and then what if they get into a trucking accident, and then what if they hit a family of four, and then the family of four dies, and then I have to pay their medical bills, and then the trailers of medical bills, and then this medical bill. And I say, wait, hold on, wait, hold up. Wait, you're killing people already. Hold on. What do you need to do right now? And he says, I just need to file for the LLC. Okay, let's do that. Don't kill people. You're killing people already. Don't do that. But do you see how oftentimes we look at all the steps that we need to take, and then we get so overwhelmed with all the steps that it drains our energy, and then we give up in our heads. Don't get too much into your head, because once you get in your head, you're dead, because your head will tell you all the reasons why you can't do it. So stop looking at that big mountain and start looking at the step that's right in front of you. So what is one tiny step that you're going to take today or tomorrow or this week to make sure that you're moving forward? And that goal, that dream, that it's waiting for you. It's like, it's right. It's out here in the universe. It's waiting for you. It's saying, hey, Ernie, hey, Adriana, we're waiting for you. Like, or whoever's listening to this workshop, we're waiting for you. We're waiting for your greatness. Why are you not putting this greatness out there? Because those people are looking for you, but if you don't ever look for them, they will never find you. And I want to leave you with this, because in this world, I think that the ideal way to leave this earth is, maybe being surrounded by your loved ones. Maybe you're let's say you're about to pass, and you're laying there on your bed, and then standing around you are your family, your relatives. That's the ideal way that we want to leave. But just imagine, if you will, one day laying on your deathbed, and standing around you are the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the books, the business that you wanted to start. And they're staring at you with large, angry eyes, and they're saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. So I want to ask you, what dreams, what ideas, what business are you going to start today? Or are you going to be like this picture right here, with all these ghosts of all these ideas that wanted to live through you, and they're going to die with you? What are you going to do? And with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much to Ernie, Adriana, Mark, and everybody who's watching for being here. I appreciate you all. And I also want to give you a gift here to everybody that's listening. If you want to scan this barcode, you can give me some feedback, what your thoughts were about the presentation. And then if you type in the word goal prompt right there, you type in goal, it will take you to my it will give you a copy of my ebook, The Blueprint on How to Turn Goals into Achievement. If you don't have the barcode to scan, go to that link, talk.ac/Andres Ruiz, and you can go ahead and just give me your feedback. I would greatly appreciate it. And then just type in the word goal, and then you will get the book sent directly to you, so that you can have another little piece of what I do about the blueprint on how to turn goals into achievement. Okay. And then if any of you have any questions, or I would love to offer anybody that's on this call a free 30-minute consultation to see, so I can show you how I can help you with helping you making that goal, that dream, a reality, to make sure that you don't take those amazing dreams that are inside of you with you to the grave. So if you're that person that wants that 30-minute consultation, send me an email or check out my website, and I'd be more than happy to give you that free consultation so that I can help you get clarity on your goals and your dreams, create a strategy for your vision, overcome your limiting beliefs and your fears, and help you take action so that you can level up in your life. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Yes, Andres, I just had a few questions because, as you said, you were working at a job you didn't like, and you sort of grew into this coaching and these themes. When did you start doing high school speaking? Because high school and middle school, those are tough audience. As you said, 500 kids and one or two might have reacted to you.
Yeah, it
But
was, oh
you were
my
at a
goodness, it
certain
was tough.
maturity when you started doing that. Um, that I
Yeah.
mean, your goal was I'm going to do this, and you weren't expecting a negativity. You were just hoping that they received it and you could go on about your development.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I started speaking to the students, it went okay at first. I'll be honest, like, I kind of struggled a little bit to connect with them at first because I was just so nervous. But after doing it a few times, I got really used to it. Like, yeah, I got really comfortable with it. And just yesterday, I gave a presentation to about 40 youth, like 40 youth who are, going through some challenges. It was quite a tough crowd.
Right.
But I really just, it went really well for me because, I share with them my story of how I had struggles. I don't try to be this guy that says, hey, I know it all. No, I try to look at them from their perspective and say, hey, man, I've been there. Like, I've done drugs, I've done some crazy stuff in my life. I'm not perfect. I'm not here to tell you I'm perfect. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just want to share my story with you, and I hope that it helps somehow. And it really helps them connect with me because I'm just very real with them. I tell them, hey, man, I've been through some stuff. I've been through thinking about suicide. I've been through doing drugs, almost ODing. And the audience really connects with your story. They connect with a lot with my story because it's totally relatable to their situation as well.
Right. And in setting the goals, um, you can't have any hint of negativity. Like you can't joke about your goal in a negative way. You always have to be positive about your goal. I mean, that sort of struck me as comedy because comedy so often ends up being the punchline is sort of a negative generally. Um, so you have to stay with the positives through all your goal setting and all your energies toward those goals. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. It's helped me to like, and I'm not saying you have to be Pollyanna over here and say, I'm so happy. It's
right,
not like
right,
that. But it's like, hey, you know, that phrase of saying, I'm not good enough or I can't amount to anything, let's use something that is actually useful. Like, just say to yourself, you know what? Maybe it's possible I can attain this goal. Don't even say I can do it. Just say, maybe it's possible. Maybe it's possible is better than I can't. Because, like Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. But the one that says he can't, he already gave up. So at least tell yourself it's possible.
right. And you cannot be defensive about your goals. Or um, do you discuss your goals widely with people around you, or just something uh, energetically you sent out uh,
Well, I share
into the
my goals
universe?
with, yeah, I share my goals mainly with people that I know that understand this, because I do have relatives or friends. Actually, some of my friends that I used to hang out with, I don't hang out with anymore. Like we're in a different time in our lives, and some of them, hey, they ended up still being on that route of drinking and doing all those drugs, and that's okay. Like I'm not judging. I just don't want to be around that. And so I think that your environment plays a big role in your success. So if you're kind of like constantly around like Debbie Downers or people who are just like not positive, it could really affect you. And so for me, I'm very careful with who I share my goals with. And that's why I have a coach. That's why I have mentors who help me. And I know that I can share my dreams without feeling like shame or feeling embarrassed or feeling like I'm going to be judged. So for the people listening, be very mindful of who you share your goals with because those people can either make you or break you. And just like that one rotten apple that can spoil the whole batch, one negative person can ruin your whole life. Don't be around rotten apples.
Right. Okay. Do we have any other questions or anybody? Adriana,
Course, I have a question.
of
Hi,
course.
yes. It's
Hi,
nice to
Adriana.
see you again and talk to
Same.
you. Thank you for being here, always with a positive thing for us.
Yeah, thank you.
My questions are how you can create a positive thought daily when you or we are surrounded of negativity all day long?
Okay. Yes. So great question. And I do have clients who have been around those negative people. And so when those people are around you, what some of my clients have done, I'll just share what some of my clients have done, is they set a boundary and they ask the person kindly, hey, you know what? Like the way that you talk to me or the way that you treat me is very, doesn't make me feel good. I would really appreciate it if you don't do that anymore. Now, for my clients, it was very hard because they never set boundaries. Ever since they were little, they were never taught boundaries. So they were not respected. They did it again. And they said, hey, I mentioned it to you. Like, I would really appreciate it if you don't do that. Now, eventually, that client, they started to respect them and saying, like, about like the whole negative piece. They eventually started respecting them. Another client, they didn't listen to them. So what they did was they started to separate themselves a little bit from that person and not really uh, see them that much. Sometimes I've had people where they're like, you know what? I actually have to leave this person. I can't be around this anymore because they're killing me. Like literally killing me. So it's like but you have to make the decision for yourself. You know, I'm not here trying to tell you like what to do, but being very mindful of like the people that are surrounding you and knowing that you're a priority. You have to take care of yourself first because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're going to be this very miserable person who's very unhappy and is going to like eventually hurt yourself emotionally and mentally. So that's kind of like some of the things that my clients have done when with setting boundaries. Other clients have left their job. Sometimes like the environment was so negative in their work that they left. They're like, you know what? I'm out of here. Like I cannot be in this type of work because it's killing me, literally killing me mentally, emotionally. And I know that you know a lot about like when it comes to emotions, you know, we have mutual friends like Javier. I believe like Sergi does like work like that. And man, sometimes it's like those environments can make you ill. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that helps. I hope it does, but just wanted to share that with you.
No, yes, definitely. I just heard many cases of people saying, but it's not possible for me to leave. Can be, I mean, negativity at home, negativity at work, but they feel like they are surrounded in a place where they are unable to leave that environment because
Yeah. No, yeah.
need the husband, need the children, and you know,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
what
It's very
you can.
it's very real. It's very real. And I know that sometimes for women it's hard for them to leave. Um, you know, it could be very hard to leave, you know. So but like I said, I think it's really important that we make ourselves our priority because like a great mentor of mine told me one time, it's me first, family second, my business third, and community fourth. Because if I'm not taken care of, I cannot take care of my family, my business, or my community. And so because yeah, and if we don't take care of ourselves, we're going to be lashing out at our family or really upset, you know, in our jobs. So for me, I take care of myself first. Like every morning I meditate, I do yoga, I work out, and I set boundaries. Like, you know, I've had to set boundaries with some relatives that it's like they didn't like it. Some of them don't really talk to me anymore sometimes, and that's okay. You know, I have to respect that. So
Yeah, definitely. And what do you do to start believe in yourself when you know that environment all the time put you down? What, how you did? Where was the place where you went inside you to say, all right, yes, I can do it?
yeah, so that's a great question as well. So for me, I needed people around me that would believe in me. So I had to find a group of people that would believe in me. One thing that has helped me a lot is my coach. Just my coach constantly like putting some good vibes and telling me like, hey, you can do this. Cause I've had doubts. Like just last week, I had some doubts, you know? So last week, I even had to the point where I was like, should I give up? Should I like really bad mindset? Cause I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was thinking really negative thoughts. But then I talked to my coach and everything was so much more better just simply talking to this person and them holding the space for me to say, hey, I'm here for you. Oh, thank you so much. Like I needed to just get that off my chest. I just needed to talk about it. So just having that support system. And I have a very small group of people that I talk to about my personal stuff, but it's beautiful to have somebody that you can just share all your stuff that may be negative, and then just having somebody holding the space, listening to you without judging you. And this is where I think it's important to have a coach, because they're a third party. They're not your relative, they're not your friend. They don't know you like too much to the point where they start giving you advice. Because, you know, friends and family, they're like, you should do this, you should do that, or no, just listen to me. And this third party person is just there to hold the space and to help you just hear yourself and get some insights for yourself.
That's very good. That's very good. I mean, I've been seeing so many cases where the people are really sick right now because, I mean, never take the courage to say, okay, I really want to change my life. They keep saying that, but they not taking action. Yes, no. The action is really very, very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Action. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Andres.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Aprecio mucho.
Yo también. Gracias.
Do we have any other questions?
Any questions? Or
Lucia joined us a little late.
No, just did. I know Marita maybe has a question in Spanish.
Okay, yeah, I'd be happy to answer in Spanish. También hablo español, so como quieran. Nos echamos un Spanglish, como dicen.
Yes, exactly. The things here to help each other. And I believe so. It's never too late to start, no?
No. Like I told you, there was the client of mine, janitor, 61 years old, and he said, I kind of want to be a coach, but I think I'm too old. You're not. That age is just a number. And then he started coaching people around, like, you know, people who struggle with like low self-esteem because of their drinking, because he drank a lot back in the day. So I said, man, you don't drink anymore. Like you can help people like overcome like this low self-esteem and drinking. And he started doing it, felt more alive than ever. And he's like, man, I'm going to retire as a janitor. I'm not good enough. And I'm like, dude, like your role as a janitor doesn't define you, man. Like you're still amazing. So, and for me, it was like when I told him, hey, well, I only have a high school diploma, like that was my story. And that's the limiting belief that we all have. It's like, oh, but I only have a high school diploma. My cousin's a surgeon and this person's a lawyer. And man, those are just labels. It's like, man, if we only just saw how beautiful we were, how amazing we were. And that's the key right there. You have to see it for yourself. Because I can tell you, you're amazing, you're brilliant, but it doesn't matter what I say about you. What matters is what you say about you. And that's why, for me, affirmations like right there, look, I am strong, I am courageous, constantly caring, I believe in myself, I am enough. You know, like I'm like, this is my shield, you know. It's like, hey, yo, don't bring that negativity up in here. I'll set a boundary, you know. No.
And we never can discard the possibility of you have the moment to help somebody just with few words. Like you start in a school giving that speech. When in a word before that point you were thinking about, oh, I'm going to
oh no.
More than 1,000 people listen to me.
Oh no. I was very shy. Like I couldn't even talk to two people at the same time. Like I had moments where sometimes my supervisor would be talking to me, and just the thought of me not knowing what to say, I would start to sweat and get very nervous. That's how bad it was. And now in that time, I couldn't have said, one day, Andres, you're going to speak to thousands of people. No, I'm not. Because I didn't believe in myself. And that's the thing. It's like, if you would have seen Andres 10 years ago, you would have been like, what is this? Who is this? No, this is not Andres. No, trust me. You would be like, no way, this is not the same guy. This guy, no.
When do you think you can find out if you are doing the right thing, the purpose of being here in this earth?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I think for me, it was like just getting started. Like getting started because like I told you, when I was doing stand-up comedy, I was really sucked. Like I was terrible. Like I was not a good comedian. And but I got started and then I said, okay, the universe, at the time I didn't even know what the universe was. I was just like taking action, like doing stand-up comedy, doing bad, and you could hear the crickets all the time, just nobody was laughing. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Public speaking, like I was introduced to that world. And then I was like, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is my passion. And I think like in this moment, we kind of know already what we want to do, but because we're scared or we have a fear, we have a limiting belief, we're not doing it. And this is where I think, like, I really believe that extra assistance from a coach can help us because they hold the space so that we can listen to ourselves and say, wait, wow, that story doesn't sound right. That's not true. What I'm thinking to myself, I'm an amazing human being. And I've asked my clients too, where, hey, tell me how many people have rejected you or made you feel bad. And then I ask them, is it 5? Is it 10? And they're like, maybe like 5. And then tell me how many people have told you you're amazing? 5, 10 more, 20 more, 30 more, 50, 100 more. Oh, wow. Okay. So like 100 or 1,000 people think you're amazing, but you're putting your focus on these 3 people that think that you're not good enough. And where focus goes, energy flows. You put your focus on the good stuff, it'll expand. You put your focus on the negative, it'll expand as well. It depends where you're putting your focus on, because you can put your focus on the negative because the negative is always available, but so is what is the positive. Where are you putting your focus on? So I think that's where it's important that you put your focus on the good stuff. And how can I serve the world? How can I serve the universe? Because when you find something that's a lot greater than you, a lot bigger than you, then you'll be like, wow, this is my purpose. This is my passion because now I'm helping. Because when you're helping, you're not thinking about yourself. You're not being selfish and thinking about your fears. Because I know you, for example, Adriana, you have something special within you. You're an amazing woman. You have this beautiful smile, this beautiful energy that you bring to the room. And when you give that to somebody, you heal them in the moment. So in the moment when you heal them, guess what? You're making their life better because this moment is all that exists. And you know this because you follow people who would think this way, where if I'm making your life better in this moment by speaking to you, I'm living my purpose. This is my purpose right now. This moment is my purpose because I'm trying to give something to you all that you can take with you. And I hope that you do something with it so that when that moment comes of like, wow, this woman needs my help right now. She's crying. How can I help her? You help her right there. That's the purpose.
That's very nice, actually. And what you can say to a young person who's struggle right now in between life, work? It's a lot easy thing to do around, but normally they not take time to do things on to help them, and they go for the faster solutions, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is where we're living in a world of instant gratification and a world of entitlement where everybody feels entitled to like having a great life without doing work. And unfortunately, sometimes people they have to suffer. Like honestly, I had to suffer. I went through almost ODing on cocaine. I went through drinking. I went because I wasn't ready for the message for me to be told, hey, you are amazing. You can do amazing things. If somebody told me that 13 years ago, I would have been like, get out of here, get out of my face. Like, I was not ready for the message. And sometimes it takes suffering for people to learn their lesson. And with these young people, like yesterday, I was speaking to 40 people. There's maybe about like 7 kids who weren't paying attention, but I wasn't putting my focus on them. I was putting my focus on the 33 that were paying attention to me, that were giving me their attention. Because if I start saying, hey, guys, pay attention, now I'm taking my focus off these people who are listening to me. And so you can't catch them all. Not all of them are ready for the message. Maybe one day those 7 gentlemen will be ready, or maybe they're going to have to go through some real big struggles in order for them to learn. But that's not my job. That's their job. My job is to say, hey, this is what I went through. This is a solution that I have. Take it or leave it. It's yours. If you want it, take it. And some of them did take it. Some of them were like, yo, mister, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate you. And man, it was so cool to just see those young 17-year-olds, like something was sparked inside of them that made them think, I am special. And I said, you're absolutely special. You're amazing.
Definitely. And we can take as a we suffer sometimes, but what I've been learning lately is that's the universe who is actually got you to where you have to be. Even so, we thinking like, why God is so hard on me? Why the life is not good for me? But it's because you are not in the right place right now. So it's moving you, pushing you to move on to where you have to go, correct?
Yes. Yes. And this is the thing. It's about decisions. Life is about decisions because some people don't ever decide, because we've all seen those people that have gone to the grave with so much greatness, and it was because they dare never made a decision. And that's why the wealthiest place in the planet is in the graveyard, because in the graveyard you will find ideas, books, inventions, businesses that were never started because of fear. The fear of what will they think or say about me? The fear of what if I lose my 401k and my insurance? I have a really good job, but you hate your job. You hate it. You're miserable. You're doing it just for the insurance. What's going on here? You love to do these other things, but because you're so worried about what you will lose, you're not going to do it. But what if we started to think, what will I gain if I go in this direction? What will happen? For me, I'm glad I took that leap, and I gained so much because I trusted the universe. I trusted myself. I took that leap. And I said, the worst thing that could happen is I'll go back to a job that I hate. And that's all right. Like I'm going to take a leap. I was scared, of course, but I had to do it. And then we also have the fear of failure. What if it doesn't work out? Or the fear of success. And what if I'm not good enough? That's what I struggle with that. Like, maybe I'm not good enough. Like, sometimes I doubt myself. Am I good enough? Do I deserve to be here? Do I deserve to do this? And then pause. Of course you do. My God. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, coach. Or thank you, universe. Yeah. I deserve this. I'm amazing. I have to believe that. So another thing that we fear is that fear of success is really not fear of success. It's the fear of responsibility. What comes with the success? It's scary. Like, oh my God, can I handle this responsibility?
Yeah.
And we can do it. It's just that we don't believe that we can. And if we don't believe we can, then we can't.
I know. And on the other hand also is we have to thanks for our parents for everything what they did to you and how they teach the life they thought that's the best. But
Yes.
this is
Yes.
another
I
for the parent, no?
yeah. Yeah. No. And I've learned to forgive my parents and love my parents, like I've also forgiven myself. I've forgiven myself because, I did a lot of needless suffering. And now I'm like, you know what? Thank you, mom. Thank you, dad, for, doing the things that you did that, yeah, they weren't right, but in a way they were right because they put me in the position that I am here today. Had they done everything right, maybe I wouldn't be here. Maybe I had to learn my lesson, and now I'm grateful for it. Now I love my parents. I appreciate my parents. Before I hated my parents, I was resentful towards them. I was always angry. It's your fault. Like you suck. You're like, oh, that. No, I got to take ownership of my life because I can't be the victim all the time. And sometimes it's hard for people to hear that. Like, I'm not a victim, but I was a victim. I'll admit it. But I had to take ownership of my life. And it was hard to take ownership because I was so used to victim. And sometimes like that comfort zone of being in that victim mentality it's hurtful, it hurts, but because we know what to expect, we stay there in our suffering. But we don't want to go into the unknown of all the amazing things that could happen because we don't know what's going to happen. It's not predictable like our pain that we're going through in our comfort. Our comfort, we know what's going to happen next. And that's why we want to stay in it. But if we go towards the unknown, man, there's so many amazing things waiting for you right now. So you can't even imagine the opportunities, the people that are waiting for you, the relationships that are waiting for you. They're just there, just waiting for you. They're just saying, Adriana, Lucia, Angelica, Ernie, we're waiting for you. Why are you not coming yet? Like, come on. Look at this. We're waiting for you. So are you going to keep them waiting or are you going to go for it? It's a decision. You have a choice right now. You have a choice. Do you want to make the decision to go for it? Or are you going to stay in the comfort zone?
Correct. Amazing. Thank you, Andres. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Nice to see Angelica.
So Andres, are you currently working on a new book?
I'm looking to make my newest book, this one. This one's the one that I just launched. Confident Warrior Secrets. You kind of see it.
Yeah, okay.
This one, I'm looking to write it in Spanish. I'm also looking to write my next children's book, The Adventures of Abram, which is based off my son Abram, which is really cool. So yeah, but yeah, just working on those things. And then I also have a master class next Thursday called the 3-month year, where it'll be kind of like similar to this, but it'll be a little bit more strategic to help you with attaining that 1-year goal in 3 months. Because I've attained some goals that I thought I could attain in a year. I've actually attained them in a month or two, being very strategic about it. So that one is going to be next Thursday at 6 p.m. my time, which is 9 p.m. New York time. Okay. So if you guys are interested, that one's $20. So if you're interested in being a part of it, I would love to have you there. Like I said, it's not going to be just like a very just talking at you. There's going to be some work to be done. We're going to do some work. You're going to come out with the plan of action. You're going to come out motivated, fired up, and ready to go.
What would be the best book that you currently have as a starter book for us?
I would say the blueprint on how to turn goals into achievement. That's why I gave you guys that QR code to get your free ebook. So that way you all can scan the barcode and then you can get the free ebook. It's a 40-page book. I'm the man that writes these 30 to 40-page books. This one is like 40 pages. It's like short, right to the point. The blueprint is also 40 pages. And it's also like a little workbook where you can write in it. That way it's like it's actionable as well. So I'm the type that's like, I like to read short books because honestly, I cannot read a 300-page book. Now, look right there. I call myself. I can. I don't want to. I want to read a 40-page book that gets right to the point. So I don't know. I just like to make them really short for my audience.
Very good. Do we have any other questions out here? Nobody?
No question, just say hi and thank you. I'm a little bit late, but you already convinced me. I'm going to quit my job with that speech.
Oh, wow.
Before next week.
I've been wanted that for a long time, but I'm not sure what to do, but yeah, I know I gotta do it. And I believe it's going to be this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I have clients who so if you want a free consultation, I'd be happy to give it to you because I have clients where we have an exit strategy for them to eventually leave their job, not leave it like, hey, I'm leaving. you know,
Yeah.
like, but having like a strategy, like an exit strategy where they're like, okay, what can we do to start planning out my exit strategy? You know, and I even had a client one time where she was making about 70,000 a year. She wanted to make over six figures, but she just didn't feel good enough to apply for a six-figure job. And then, you know, I kind of helped her, motivated her, and then she got a job for 110,000. So just by me coaching her for a couple of months, we got her a $40,000 raise because she didn't believe in it before, but you know, I helped her believe in herself, and then boom, she applied for it, she got it, she said, "Oh my God, I've been waiting to do that for 10 years." So it's
Wow.
like you're
Yeah,
one decision
amazing.
away, from changing your life. Una decisión y cambia tu vida. Es lo que es.
Yes, yes. I'm pretty sure of that. But yeah, as you say, I need something like find out my my way out. Yes.
If you're
Yes.
interested, let me
Thank
know. I'd be
you.
happy to give you a free consultation so I can show you how I can help you, and then you know we can talk about that. But yeah, let me know. I
Yes, of
think they're
course.
gonna provide my
I
information.
would love that. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. You can look me up on Facebook as well, Andres Ruiz. I don't know if you have Facebook, but you can look me up, send me a friend request, and you know we can connect there as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you, Angelica.
Very good. Well, it looks like there's nobody else volunteering at this point. Thank you, Andres. It was really, really
Yeah.
informative,
Thank you, Mark.
supportive, helpful. It's been very, very nice. So thank you for that.
Awesome. All right.
And thank you to the listeners. A reminder that next week we'll have the same thing on Tuesday, the 26th, for a discussion of the hidden power of past lives. So thank you for your attendance.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a
Right.
great day. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.